agents raided a business in our city without a warrant. They went in the back of the establishment. We believe that there were 3 people who they say were undocumented that they detained, but they also detained folks that were, in fact, citizens of this country. One person showed their military veteran identification and was still questioned anyway. People were fingerprinted. Pictures of their IDs and face were taken there. When I got this information, I was appalled, upset, angry that this would happen here in this state, in this country, that this would be allowed. Since we said something about it, I convened my folks. I said, we can't just let this happen and not say anything, that we at least have to say something. And so we did, and here we are. And as a result of that, I've got a series of phone calls and emails that were not too nice. One of them says, oh, you're not going to stand idly by. These are dangerous rapists and murderers that the liberals in this country have protected far too long. You want to defy the federal government? F around and find out what will happen, you little whatever. The problem with this is that none of these people were rapists or murderers or criminals. The problem with it is that ICE went in there without a warrant. And we can disagree on politics. You can disagree with me about the role immigrants play in the economy of our community. You can disagree with me about the fact that most immigrants are not criminals. In fact, they are victims of violence in cities. We can disagree about whether you support mass deportation or not. But what we must agree on is that the thing that separates this country from many other countries around the world is the Constitution of the United States. Now, we can't quibble about the 4th Amendment. We can't quibble about the 14th Amendment, that everybody has the right to due process, that we should be secure in our person, in our papers, in our property from undue search and seizure. Some smart men came up with this a long time ago, and now it's the constitutional laws that we live by, and nobody has the right to go around those laws, to disregard them. It's a slippery slope when we think it's okay to suspend the Constitution of the United States in order to make a political point or statement. That ICE response in their letter that they put out, they say, well, in a very cavalier way, these things happen. There will be some citizens who are going to ask for their ID and their paperwork. There are going to be some citizens who we stop and question. So then my response to that is, how do you determine who's undocumented and who's a criminal just by looking at them? And if we allow people to identify us or put us in categories of criminal or any other thing just by the way we look, then we're going back to a time that was very dangerous in this country, specifically for people that looked like me. I got a letter that said we should arrest the store owner. An email, we should arrest the store owner. I mean, this kind of talk in America is not democracy. This is not the Constitution. This is not a nation of laws. And these are people who say they want to uphold the law, uphold the Constitution, that they love this country. Well, what do you love about this country? The right for us to be secure in our papers. The right for us to have the freedom to practice any religion we want. The right for us to speak, right? The right for us to assemble. The right for us to protest. The right for us to speak any language that we want. This is what we love about this country, that we're not persecuted because of our background. We're not persecuted because who we are. We're not persecuted because of what we believe or what we think. What we love about America is the Constitution, right? The Bill of Rights, the things that allow us to do what we're doing today. Say that we want to protect folks in our community, our neighbors, and our family members. that we have a right to protect them, and we will protect them. And I don't care if you write 1,000 terrible emails or call me all day, every day. The fact of the matter is, we believe in democracy in Newark, New Jersey, and we're going to stand on democracy here, and we're going to fight for all of our residents in this city.
Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the Lord's elect. And as you just watched that clip coming from the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, all right, or as he would say, Newark, he was speaking, basically about a ICE raid that took place. I want to say that was either today or yesterday. I'm not exactly too sure what day it took place, but nonetheless, there's a outcry right amongst the people, which is mainly Israelites, right, so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, about the injustice that is being done, right. Also over here in New Jersey, brother had told me in the city of Plainfield, you had ICE agents that was up and down the streets, because you have a lot of northern tribes that reside in that city, right, which is just a couple cities down from where I actually stay at. So these are the things Trump was saying it. We've been warning about these things coming, right? And now now that it's here, and remember, as Trump said in his speech, in his inauguration speech, this he had an overwhelmingly support, right, from the so-called blacks and Latino voters. All right, so a lot of Israelites voted for this, right? They gave him credence. Matter of fact, since I mentioned that, let me get into the book of Maccabees, the first chapter. All right, because as you heard, the guy said that those ICE agents, they didn't just arrest illegal immigrants, right? So-called illegal immigrants, because the hypocrisy of Esau, Edom, is that this land that he calls America was already inhabited by the same people that he is now saying are here illegally, right? The natives, which goes into the Native Americans, and also the northern tribe, so-called Hispanics that was in this region as well, the Issacharites. See? So at the end of the day, Esau, is that hypocritical nation, because he is crying and in an uproar about how they're being invaded, when that's exactly how he established this country in the first place. But regardless of that, you also, like the guy said, that the ICE agents also detained and questioned individuals who were legal citizens, right? I believe he said one of them was a military veteran. You see, and the questions that he was saying is what we've been saying, right? How are you going to be able to, the you being, these agents, right? These federal agents, how are they going to be able to differentiate? Can never say that word. Tell the difference between who's somebody that is illegal and not illegal, or somebody that is a criminal and not a criminal. And that's why he had stated that if they're starting to now detain people based off of what they look like, then that's going back to a time, right? Going back to a time where it wasn't safe for people who looked like him, right? The mayor, which, he is a so-called black man. And it won't be a time that's going to be safe for any Israelite, right? All of the tribes, because this is the time, we're approaching the time of Jacob's trouble, See, in that time of Jacob's trouble is going to exceed the various other times where Esau came down upon us with great wrath in the Greek Empire, right? During the time of Antiochus Epiphanes in the Roman Empire during the 70 AD, right? Is going to exceed those times, right? Even during the time of slavery, because what Esau has now is his technology, right? He has his technology that gives him the ability to do things even on a further level and show more cruelty. So when we read here in the book of First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 29, it says, and after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude. And what's interesting about where a lot of these raids are taking place, it's taking place in cities that were mainly inhabited by Judites, right? Newark, Plainfield, Camden, I believe also, right? And I'm sure there's other cities across America that are being raided that has a high population of so-called black, Judites, and also the northern tribes, right? The so-called Latinos, because as it says in the book of Jeremiah, Judah and Israel were oppressed together. Okay. It's no coincidence that a lot of these migrants are going to places, right? And northern tribes, period, when they come here, right? When they come to America, they go to places that are heavily populated by the Southern Kingdom. You see? So, because during this time of the Maccabees, the Northern Kingdom was already gone, right? It was already on this side of, the world, the so-called New World. So when this happened, when Antiochus came, this was mainly upon the three tribes, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Reading on, it says, and he spake peaceable words unto them. And although this is speaking about Antiochus, that which is then is now, right? There's nothing new underneath the sun. And you see the same thing Trump was doing during the presidency. He was saying how he did great things for black businesses when he was in presidency, right? He gave, different types of grants and, help the black entrepreneur, this, and that. You see? And when he came back, in his candidacy, when he was running again, he was mentioning those things. So he was speaking peaceable words because Jake likes to hear their pockets are going to be greased. And that's what Trump did. He spoke smooth words. He spoke peaceable words unto Israel, right? And to these niggas and these Latinos, right? And they got fooled. They got duped. But it says what? But all was deceit. For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much of Israel. Now, let's go into this word credence, right? It says they gave him credence. It says credence, belief in or acceptance of something as true. You see that? So they had belief in what Trump was saying. And I'm speaking, particularly about the American Israelite citizens, so-called citizens. Because once again, what that mayor was saying is that based off of how this ICE raid went, it wasn't just targeting illegal immigrants. It was targeting anybody that they deemed potentially, right, could be questionable, right, in their citizenship. So for all that time when Biden was letting these migrants in, which it wasn't just northern tribes, right? You had Haitians, you had West Africans, you had East Africans, you had so-called Middle Easterns, you had Chinese, so-called Chinese, right? You had a whole bunch of different types of migrants that came into Babylon during this time. But what was being pushed out as the problem, it was the so-called Latinos and the Haitians, which represents basically the southern and northern kingdom. That's what was pushed out to the populace as these are the people that we need to target in order to clean up, America. So when they gave him credence, he fell upon them suddenly. And this is why we was warning that this devil, he's coming down with that wrath, man. Revelation 12:12. He's coming down with that great wrath. And this is only just the beginning of it. Okay? What he's doing now is only just the beginning of the wrath that Esau is about to show, his horns that he's about to show. And what is interesting is, last night, and I wasn't even going to, do a video on it. But the Spirit, when I watched that clip and as I was getting precepts, the Spirit just had me, touch on it because it ties in. Last night I had a dream. I was with my brother in my camp and we was, I forgot exactly where we were going, but we was in a car, driving, and we ended up in like some area that was a gated area, but it was open, right? And it was like a community, like a gated community. And we were, walking, and there was an Amalekite, right? But he looked like one of those, how you say, the Palestinian Amalekites, right? Not like the typical top hat, because you got some of those Amalekites that got a little bit more melanin into them. But nonetheless, that's what he looked like. And he was, basically like berating a illegal immigrant, right? So-called illegal immigrant. And I can't remember if I don't know if it was a Issacharite or it might have been, like somebody from El Salvador. I couldn't, I can't remember exactly who, but I knew it in my dream, and definitely knew it was a so-called Latino. And he was berating him, and he was like, just down talking him. And the interesting thing that he was saying was he was calling the Amalekite was calling the Issacharite a nigga. He was like, you ain't nothing but a brown nigga. And he kept saying that. He was like, you are nothing but a brown nigga. So me and the brother I was with, we went up to the Amalekite, right? And we was basically defending, the Issacharite. I'm just gonna call him Issacharite, but we was defending the northern tribe, and somehow we didn't record it, but somehow it popped up on Twitter, right? It popped up on X, like a video of the Amalekite calling, this northern tribe a nigga. And this Amalekite, he was somebody that was well off. Like I said, it was a gated community, so he had he was well off. So when I showed him that it popped up on Twitter, a video, and I was like, oh, I'm about to expose you. Which is, like I said, it was interesting because I didn't record it, but I guess in my dream, it just made sense, right? That the Amalekite thought I was the one that recorded it. And he was like, no, don't do that. Like I'm important. I can't lose my job. And I was like, nah, like you want to talk shit, I'm going to expose you. Right. And then he tried to bribe me with money. The Amalekite tried to bribe me with money. He was like, look, just name your price. I'll do anything. Just give me just take it down. And I was like, nah. And he was like, here, take everything I had. So he tried to give me $12, which it was interesting, the number 12, but he tried to give me $12. So, I was like, yo, man, get the hell up out of here, man. I'm not taking your money. So then after that, we was about to leave, and he threatened us and told us that he was going to get us put into concentration camps. And after that, me and a brother was like, all right, yo, let's just get out of here. So we try to leave out of the gated community. And as we were leaving, you had what it appeared to be like Secret Service agents, right? They just popped up in the front of the gate, and that was the only way out, that we had to go through that gate. And they popped up in front of the gate, and they all had machine guns. And I'm not, and I'm talking about like the M16s and, the shit that you use in Call of Duty, right? And we had to drive through that. So, I was because we had somebody that was driving us, so I was telling him, yo, just keep going. So as a person kept going, right when we got up to the agents where they were at, they just started to light up the car, and we was on, it was point blank, right? It was close, right? Because we had to go right through that gate, and they had the gate surrounded. So as we were going right through the gate, they just started to light up the car. But as soon as we got to where they were at, and they were shooting like on the sides of the car, everything just went in slow motion, like time slowed down to the point where, me and the brother who I was with, we were able to actually see the bullets, right? And as we kept driving in slow motion, we like rolled down the window, and we like basically like took the guns and we turned them, right? We turned the guns, or like we flipped them up, right? Or we took some of them and turned the bullets. It's kind of like, which is interesting, it's kind of like in a movie Black Adam, in that one scene where you had the military trying to shoot at him, and then he just stopped time, and while they was all shooting at him, he was moving through the scene, and like the bullets was flying by him, the missiles were flying by him, and he was just touching them, moving them. It was kind of like that. And then as soon as we went by, time just went regular again, and then none of the bullets touched us, and they all just were, basically left deleted, right? They all was just dead in a dream, so I just thought that was interesting, because my dream had to do with, calling out that Amalekite that was berating, and talking down on that northern tribe. And then because of that, they tried to threaten us with being sent into concentration camps. Okay, and then they tried to physically threaten us. But, as the scripture says in the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 17, verse 19, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Okay, and this is something that we truly believe. You got to believe it in order to have faith, right? To make it to the end, because we don't have any other security. We don't have any other way out, right? In that in that speech, what the guy was saying, I didn't play the whole thing, but somebody else came up afterwards, Northern Tribe lady, and she was basically saying how she was getting calls, from citizens all throughout Newark, that how they were scared, right? How they didn't know what to do, and they were scared because they didn't know if they were going to be next. All right, or they might have family members that's going to be next. And these are people, like how the mayor said, that got arrested that weren't criminals, that aren't rapists, right? They're just regular citizens, regular individuals, so to speak, that just came here to try to, make a so-called better life for themselves. But at the end of the day, as it says in the book of Micah, that this is not your rest. And that's what that guy didn't even, understand as well. The mayor, he was thinking, he was pushing out this vibration that, this is why we love America, because we have the Constitution, we have the Bill. But these things, the Constitution was not written with you, Jake's Israelites in mind, right? You still were enslaved when they wrote that Constitution. All right, when they said that the God created all men equal, they were not talking about you, right? They weren't talking about you Israelites, because like I said, you were still in slavery during that time. You were 3/5 of a human being during that time. See, so you're trusting, leaning upon a broken reed, right? Trusting in the shadow of Egypt, and that's going to be to your shame and your confusion. Okay, so when we get here in the book of Luke chapter 19, verse 42. Now this is speaking about the time of, well, Yahushua was speaking of, prophesying about the time of 70 AD. But once again, that which is then is now, because just like how this devil, attacked, desecrated the temple during the Greek Empire and also during the Roman Empire, this devil is going to try to desecrate the temple during this empire. But remember, the temple of the Lord now is spiritual. You see, the temple of Yahushua Ba'ashem Yahushua is what? The elect. We are those lively stones. And he ultimately wants to desecrate that temple once more by way of that setting up that idol within the temple of the Lord, which is that charagma. Right, as Paul said, know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and he who that defiles the temple, the Most High will destroy. And the way that you will be defiling the temple this time, ultimately, would be by taking that charagma. But here in the book of Luke, chapter 19, verse 41, it says, and when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, if thou hadst known, even thou, at least in this thy day, which belongeth with the things which belongeth unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thy eyes. You see, because Jake they don't understand where your peace is at. Your peace isn't in getting equality from this devil. Your peace is not in, the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. Your peace is in trusting and returning and repenting back to your God, Yahweh, through his son Yahushua. That is how you get true peace. Because based off of what happened over there in Newark, all Jake is susceptible to be, stopped by ICE and questioned and asked, detained. And that's what we were saying, telling you that this was going to happen. Okay, these things were written, man. All right, so it's not as if you weren't forewarned. You were forewarned, but you didn't take heed. Right? Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, and we keep always bringing this out. See, these prophecies are not afar off anymore. Ezekiel the 12th chapter tells you that, right? That the prophecy is these visions are not prolonged. The Lord said that he was going to have these things happen in your day. So Jeremiah 30 verse 7, at last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. See, Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And this is exactly the start of that, man. And like I said, this is the start of these things. All right. But who is the he that will be saved out of it? The elect. The ones that put their faith in the Lord, the ones that hearkened unto the voice of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the one that sought the Lord while he was able to be found. Because you're not going to get any type of security, any type of aid, any type of safety running to your enemy, man. That's not what it is. All right. And the sooner you Jakes realize it, the sooner you'll be able to be at peace. Yeah, we got to go through the trouble, but the Lord said that we're going to be saved out of it. Okay. Ezekiel, 2nd Esdras 16. 2nd Esdras 16 verse 70. It says, let's start at 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. Why do this devil have a burning wrath? Because he knows he has a short time. Why does he know he have a short time? Because the word of the Lord has gone out. Israel has woken up. You don't think these devils see Israelites in Babylon the Great, in the world, remembering themselves? You don't think that they know what that indicates for them? And do you think that since they do know that they were just going to let that happen? No. Remember, Trump created the Space Force. All right. You don't think they see these what they call UFOs that are doing out of this world type of maneuvers? You don't think they realize and know what that is all about? Okay. The fact that they have been exposed, the wicked has been revealed. They see all these things, man. As it says in the book of Jeremiah, that this word has gone unto the king of Babylon, right? In the book of Isaiah, it says what? That it should go into the gates of the nobles. So reading on, it says, and they shall take away certain of you being idle, Salakia, and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. Okay. And that thing that's ultimately going to be, there's the thing that's offered unto idols is that charagma. And it's the ones that are being idle, settled on their leaves, thinking that they have some type of life here in America and underneath Esau's kingdom. That's the ones that are going to be caught up in this wrath. Verse 69. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. Yeah, consenting. Oh, well, voting for Trump, Hispanics for Trumps, for Trump, black for Trumps, Puerto Ricans for Trump. Oh, nah, Trump is going to, he's going to, give us money and he's going to take down this inflation. Once again, Trump had an overwhelmingly support of the so-called black and Hispanic community, man. So they consented. They gave him credence. And what's that going to happen? What's going to be the result of that? You're going to be in derision and a reproach and trodden underfoot. Because when this devil says, make America great again, yeah, he's talking about when you were in underneath their foot, when there was no concept or of you having a seat at the table, right? When there was no concept of you being able to have black businesses, for you to be able to be a CEO or of a Fortune 500 company. That's why you think he's taking away all of that DEI program. Yeah, even though that shit had a bunch of folly and bullshit and fuckery within it, but mainly that's going to have a negative effect on you Israelites. That's what all this is really about, man. Verse 70, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. All right, and who are those that fear the Lord? Ultimately, it's the Israelites. But even more so, like I said before, this devil ultimately is going to come down upon the men and women that believe on Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Starting with the ones that are out there on the highways and byways, the prophets, right? And before he can get to the actual temple, you got to go into the outer court, right? You got to go where the profane things are, which profane means outside the temple. And that's where you have the wicked of our people are. That's why they're the ones that's getting caught up and swooped up in fear of their lives right now. But eventually this devil's going to try to come at the temple. But that's when the Lord is going to set up that standard. See, that's what the Lord is going to protect, because he's not going to have his temple be destroyed again. He's not going to have his temple be desecrated this time around, because the high priest is in the heavens, Yahweh Shai. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, right? And as those ICE agents came in, they didn't spare none, right? They didn't say. What did the guy say? The email that he got. See, you having the makings of a race war, right? Civil unrest, all these things, because these Edomites are in that mindset once again, man. They want you niggas put in your place. That's why he said, fuck around and find out. It says, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. This is literally what we're seeing taking place. And this is just the beginning of sorrows. But the scripture says what? Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. See that? Hear, O ye, my beloved, right? House of David. David means beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Same thing written in Jeremiah the 30th chapter. The days of trouble are at hand, man. But the Lord is going to deliver his chosen from these troubles. The ones that put their trust and faith in him. The ones that understood where our peace lies. Our peace lies in Yahushua, as Yahushua said. In this world you shall have tribulation, right? But be of good cheer. He's also said what? My peace I leave, I give you. Not the peace of this world does he give, but the peace that no man can take from us. You see? Even if this devil tries to throw us into prison, which the scripture says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, for behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. Those detention centers, those detention camps, right? Those are prisons. In my dream, what did they threaten me with? Try to threaten me and a brother with being thrown into a concentration, a detention camp. That's a prison. But the Lord told us what? To be faithful until death. Okay? That's ultimately what we got to keep in our minds, man. Remember, these evil days are for the wicked, not for the righteous. The Lord is going to deliver the righteous out of this time. Right? So yeah, I'm gonna end it with that. And Lord willing, this was edifying until they're like, hey, we told you this was happening, man. We told you this was coming. Matter of fact, I had one more and I'm gonna pull that up. Revelation chapter 12, verse 17. It says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman, right? The dragon representing the ancient Roman Empire, right? But America is that beast whose deadly wound was healed, right? That little horn that came out of the fourth beast. So it says the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which kept the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach. See, so that's ultimately who this devil wants to come up against. But at the end of the day, hey, the Lord is going to set up that standard for us, man. But you Israelites that did not take heed into this word, did not repent, right? Did not seek the Lord while he was able to be found. And you're going to have to deal with the fruit of your ways. Okay, so, with that, till the next time, shalom.